Hello again, and welcome to the next segment of tips on how to grow your business. I decided to offer this series of tips because the end of the year is rapidly approaching and it's time to start planning for the coming year. And if you happen to have missed tip number 1, just go back to your email and see if you can find a message from me dated November 2nd. There's a link in that message. It's a private link to the private video that is just for my subscribers. So if you can't find the email, just email me, Judy@centerforstrategichange.com. Now let's get on to the tip for this segment. Now let's get on to the tips to grow your business. In the very first segment on this, the problem that we addressed was confusion about growth. Many business owners, whether they're big business owners, small business owners, solopreneurs, are confused about growth. And so the tip that was offered, tip number 1, is just define growth on your own terms, not on any formal definition, not on anything from an MBA. Just define it on your own terms. And in that first segment, we talked about the goal is for you to not only grow your business, but to thrive in your life outside of your business, as well as growing your business. And we covered several different ways that you could grow. And here's an example of one. One of the options that I explained was that you can grow by expansion, expanding into new geographic regions, by opening remote offices, which now we're all familiar with working remote, and possibly by adding more employees. And then we talked about several other options, and one of the last ones we talked about is that definition of growth could be that you want more time for your personal life, time with your spouse, your partner, your children, your family and friends, time for your hobbies. So that's a valid definition of growth. So last time we talked about the problem was confusion about growth, and the solution was define growth on your own terms. Now let's move on to the problem that we're going to discuss today in this segment, and the problem is the lack of understanding about your marketplace. So tip number 2 is know your marketplace. And this photo just says it all. If you recall, during the pandemic, business owners had to shift, and the word that was frequently used was pivot quickly to be able to comply with the different regulations. And during COVID, stores closed to the public. However, especially restaurants, phone orders and curbside pickups were made available. And those types of things still continue because business owners figured out there's also multiple different ways to serve their customer. So understanding your environment, what does that really mean and how do you go about it? So if you think about this as your business in the center here, one of the things you need to be aware of when you think about your environment is you need information, obviously, about your competitors, your customers, the community that you serve. What are the politics that's going on in your environment for your business? What is the impact of the economy? What are legal ramifications that are impacting your business? And then how about the implications and the impact of technology? So these are all elements that is what we call your external environment. But beyond understanding your external environment, you also need to understand what's happening internally in your organization and how is that impacting your business. So here's just some of the elements internally that you need to consider. Now, it depends upon the size of your business. If you're a larger business, you might have departments. You might have shareholders. If you're really large, you might have in-house counsel or social committees. But all of these things impact your business. And it's important to know both the external and internal factors that are impacting your business. And then here's another simple way to figure out what's happening in your business. Just do a real simple SWOT analysis, which is identify your strengths. List those elements that are characteristics of your weakness. What opportunities are out there that you could take advantage of? And what things are potential threats that are coming down the pike that would impact your business? So a simple SWOT analysis is another opportunity to do your market research. What types of things are considered market research? So one would be industry studies, focus groups, the reports that come out of focus groups, best practices studies, customer satisfaction surveys, interviews, benchmarking information about your industry, your business, and then competitive intelligence. Of course, these are different types of market research. Now, in order to understand your environment, you need to be able to conduct your market research. So where would you find information that gives you insight into the environment in which your business operates? Okay, one place you would find it is right in front of you, in your customers or prospects. Ask them the questions that you need answered. You can find the information from trade associations. Providing information to their members is one of their main priorities. Public library. Don't overlook the value of your public library these days. They have valuable information. They have access to all kinds of database, and they are trained to provide information to business owners, especially if you're writing a business plan. There's articles in your industry type magazines. There's government resources. Just go online and search for government, and you'll find all kinds of information that they can provide to you. And of course, there's the internet, and a word of caution on the internet. One of the key things with finding information for market research for your business is it current? Is it accurate? Is it based on facts? And then, of course, there's always surveys from all different types of organizations, surveys that you can even do yourself. So that gives you a little insight into where you could find market research and the different types of market research that exist. So in this little tip of Know Your Market Research, we solve the problem of getting an understanding of your marketplace. And the solution is, the tip is, do your market research to understand your marketplace. In summary, tip number 1, define growth on your own terms. And tip number 2, know your marketplace. Thanks so much for joining me again on this series of tips to help you grow your business. Again, I'm Judy Whalen, and I look forward to having you join me for tip number 3. And at tip number 3, we'll cover not only the tip, but also a little insight into a special offer for you. So thanks for joining me. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.